From cheers of the fans to the crack of the bat, learn it all from Jimbo, Gabe, Mike, and Matt. Giving thoughts on all public teams, whether times are boom or if they are lean. Hero players that you should know, not only the good things, highs and the lows. Here it is, we're ready to go. Please enjoy the podcast. On with the show.
Good morning, good evening, and good everything in between, and welcome to the podcast. Our last episode of May. This season is flying by, but it's been so much fun. I'm your host, Jim Bobernicki, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Gabe Warman. How you doing, Gabe?
Well, my sleep schedule's back to normal after last weekend's midnight matinee. Up till 4:30 in the morning, needless to say, I was a bit of a cranky fellow the next 2 days, but back to normal.
Yeah, it was quite a long game, but it was a lot of fun still nonetheless. And we're joined also by Mr. Mike O'Beely, who did not get to join us for the game. How you doing, Mike?
What's good, fellers? I'm tired.
All right, fair enough. So let's get right into the show. What are our top stories this week, Gabe?
Well, we mentioned this on the midnight matinee back on Sunday. There's going to be an American baseball experience at Mizuho PayPay Dome this June during the Interleague session. I get it. I mean, like, we have Japanese baseball nights here in North America. Clearly, there's an opportunity to do the reverse. If you're going to attend a game, key things to watch for are a uniform exhibition of all 30 MLB teams, a life-size MLB logo photo spot, you get a complimentary rally towel with your ticket, temporary menu items like a pulled pork hot dog or Philly cheesesteak, which doesn't look 100% inaccurate, and special appearances by 3 former major leaguers to throw out the first pitch. Former Atlanta Brave Kenshin Kawakami on June 3rd, former San Francisco Giant and first Japanese-born player to play in the majors, Masanori Murakami on June 10th, and former Met, Blue Jay, and other teams, Ryota Igarashi on the 15th. Former Boston Red Sox Hideki Okajima and former Cub Tsuyoshi Wada will also be on hand for other events. Man, I would have loved to have been there on June 10th. Mashi is NPB MLB royalty. Living legend because of his role 30 years before Hideo Nomo, Murakami broke the barrier across the Pacific.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Though that Philly cheesesteak does look sus. It's not.
That like, does not look accurate at all, and I hate them. So I'm not being biased.
And I like Philly cheesesteaks, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but the pulled pork sounds good.
And speaking of foreign baseball leagues, this came out just after we recorded last week. Pacific League TV is now partnering with SOOP, S-O-O-P, to bring broadcasts of Pacific League games to South Korea. So in addition to Taiwan, US and Canada, the Latin-speaking Caribbean nations, now South Korea is going to enjoy the glory that is Pacific League baseball. I mean, KBO is awesome and all, and Lord knows I have a Ro Siwan Hanwha Eagles jersey in my closet that I am very glad that I finally got my hand on. But yeah, it's just not to the same level as Pacific League, and you know it.
Let's turn on the sports news network. It's about 5 in the morning. Maybe we can watch some sports before work.
All right, listen, Pally. I don't care how many MVPs he's won. He's not a good quarterback. All right, next caller.
His current expected weighted on-base average is far too low at 327. I want my star player's XWOBA to be closer to 400. I think we should trade him.
And now, time for an ad for a medical supplement that you may not be able to discuss in front of your family, and certainly do not want to be having an awkward conversation about later on. Don't worry, we're going to run this ad repeatedly until everyone in the living room is giving you weird looks.
Now, you could put up with all of that, or you could just get a subscription to Pacific League TV and get all the sports you could want live, 5 a.m., all season long.
And we're back, and now it's time for the meat of the show, the main segment, the Around the Horn, where we talk about Oh man, do you know Around the Horn? Sorry, I just flashed me that Around the Horn on ESPN had their last show this week. Oh, RIP to them, our namesake. Great show. Little shout out to them. But yes, it's our Around the Horn segment where we take a look at all the teams from top to bottom through the league. And we're starting off, as we've gotten quite accustomed to so far this season, with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. Take it away, Gabe.
Yeah, but they're 3-3-1 in their last 7 games, so the perch is getting a little precarious. Teams are beginning to catch up. Not for lack of power, though. Chusei Manami and Franmil Reyes are tied for the league lead in home runs with 9 apiece and sit second in RBIs, also in a tie. Given that the Fighters lead the Pacific League in team home runs, yeah, that tracks, and it's not just them. Ace starter Hiromi Ito got profiled by Pacific League Insight earlier today. Go check it out at pacificleague.com/en. Trying to explain why exactly he's been excelling so far this season. On pace for career bests in strikeout percentage and walk percentage. The answer is a new vertical slider he's debuted this season and is thrown 14.5% of the time. Opponents are only hitting 100 off it. As a result, he's diminishing his use of his cutter and regular horizontal slider to lean on the new, better pitch. He's also increased his fastball usage up to 46.7%, and his velocity has ticked up by a kilometer per hour or 2 over the last season. So clearly he's leaning on a better pitch, a stronger fastball, and he's diminished the use of some of his other lesser pitches. Like, for example, he hasn't used his rainbow slow curve at all this season. Well, yet. Leading the team in ERA, however, is actually Koki Kitayama with a 1.55, just ahead of Shoma Kanemura's 1.90. Kanemura in particular has been having a fantastic season. He now has 3 complete game shutouts already this year. You add him to Kitayama, to Satya Yamasaki, to the aforementioned Ito, to Drew Verhagen. Suddenly you're realizing why the Fighters are leading the Pacific League.
Yeah, seriously. No, the Fighters have been, I think we all expected them to be good this year, but they are just firing on all cylinders. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep it up all season long. And
Make me
speaking of
look
a team
smart,
that's
guys.
been,
Yes, please.
speaking of a team that's been firing on all cylinders, or even more so than we expected so far this season, the second place team, the Saitama Seibu Lions, 3-3 over this last week, but still only a game and a half back from the Fighters and firmly in playoff contention, which is quite a bit better than I thought they'd be this season, not going to lie. Cool little story from this week is Kona Takahashi got to play in front of his hometown in Gunma as part of the Countryside Series, where the teams go from their normal home stadiums and play around the country in smaller venues. So very cool to see that he got to play in front of his smaller hometown. And heading into today's action, Seiya Watanabe took over the batting title race by a very, very, very small margin, but still he is in the lead over Itsuki Murabayashi. If a second-round pick who started day one for the Lions ended up winning the batting title race after a season where their offense was so abysmal, that would be crazy. Like, that would be one of the greatest draft picks in MPB history. Like, that's incredible. And speaking of great draft picks, Tatsuya Imai's ERA is still below 1. Chihiro Sumida is just above 1, and they are just the most brutal 1-2 combination in the league. Imai is still leading the league with Ks at 71, and I saw Tyler Nevin is making his way up the home run charts. He doesn't hit very often. His batting average is in the low 200s, but he's making really solid contact, driving in runs whenever he can. So, yeah, go Lions. I'd safely say they've even more so than I know a lot of people think the Hawks have been the surprise of the season with how bad they've been, but I think I did not expect the Lions to be this good. It's quite surprising.
The refrain from the Boston Braves was spawn and sane and pray for rain. Imai and Sumida as the 1-2 punch for the Lions, not too dissimilar. They are surprising a lot of people, and it really is folks like Tyler Nevin and Seiya Watanabe showing up and providing the additional offense.
And so that brings us over to the third place team, just in playoff contention, the Oryx Buffaloes. Take it away, Gabe.
3-1 in their last 4, thanks to that rain out in Kumamoto. Half a game back of the Lions. Man, the standings are bunched up a lot right now. Congrats and bonsai to left fielder Ryoma Nishikawa for his 1,000th career hit, which we saw live back in the Midnight Matinee. Nishikawa sits fifth in the batting title race behind Ryo Ota and Yuma Tongu and ahead of Yutaro Sugimoto, who hit 2 home runs in that game. Heck, shortstop Kotaro Kurebayashi is even 10th. Buffaloes are swinging the sticks really well. And speaking of Ryo Ota, the phenom, he's expected to be back from his right wrist bruise as early as May 31st. The Buffaloes would love to bring his bat back, although we saw the new guy, Kosei Osato, did fantastic in the field during our midnight matinee. One other tidbit from that game, Taisuke Yamaoka got the win in relief of Ryuhei Soltani, his first winning decision in 672 days. Yamaoka's an interesting case. He was a starter to begin his career, earning 3 All-Star nods and a Japan Series ring in 2022. He had the mountain range with Yamamoto and Yamasaki, Yama being the kanji for mountain. But converted to a reliever in 2023 once then manager Satoshi Nakajima noticed he started struggling after 80 or 90 pitches. Given that Yamaoka has earned his domestic free agent rights at the end of the season, it'll be interesting to see if he looks for a place to become a starter again. Oryx announced that they'll be busting out the old Blue Wave uniforms once more for their Kobe series this season, especially since it's the 30th anniversary of the Great Hanshin earthquake. The team will be welcoming back old faces like Nobuyuki Hoshino, So Taguchi, and T. Okada. If you're visiting Japan this year, taking in a game at Hotomoto Field in Kobe is a real treat. It and Escon Field Hokkaido are the only NPB ballparks I have not seen a game in. Plus, the new summer uniforms, can we talk about that? They're calling them combat mode, red lettering on black pinstripe uniforms. Real Hankyu Braves vibes off these. I really like them. I know that it's absolutely not the Buffalo standard color scheme, but it's better than the gray and green uniforms from years prior.
And so that brings us over to our fourth place team, the defending champions who are doing their best, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Just 2 back of the Buffaloes in fourth, 2-3 since their last 5 after stumbling to the Fighters today, but that's okay. Ukyo Shuto is back, which is awesome, and he hit a home run today, which is very nice to see. Those don't come around very often. Carter Stewart Jr. is back in Japan as of May 24th. Manager Hiroki Kokubo was interviewed by Sponichi Annex, saying he's going to start rehabbing his abdominal injury with an eye to return next season. Oh, that hurts to read live. I was so hoping he'd be back this season because he was doing really well last season. But hey, you know what? He'll be back. He'll do great. And the Hawks, I don't want to write this whole season off already, but it's starting to feel that way a little bit. It's starting to feel like we're kind of out of it. But hey, we can make some noise. We still got a really talented team. But yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm definitely a lot more optimistic than I was a couple weeks ago. I can say that much. But yeah, it's been rough. Any thoughts for you guys?
I have some thoughts, but it's really just, laughing at Hawks fans.
Fair enough. And yeah, we deserve it. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason we'd laugh at anyone else in the league right now, but let's get into that. Let's move on down the list to the 5th place team, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. That's your key to take it away, Mike.
Hey, man, both my teams don't have a pedestal to fall from.
Oof.
2 back the Hawks in 5th, 3-2-1 this week, only 3 games away from Oryx, who are in 3rd place. Congrats to Hideto Asumura on his 2000th career hit, opening the doors to the Meikyukai, one of Japan's 2 halls of fame. That's the one if you're not aware that you have to reach specific criteria to be allowed into, such as 2,000 hits. He is the 7th youngest player to reach the milestone. But at what cost? Asumura had his Ironman streak end at 1,346 games, the 4th longest in NPB history and the longest in PL history. So such a shame there. I believe, oh God, who was it that had one really that was going real strong relatively recently? I think it was Toritani. That was years ago though. 3 Eagles in the top 10 for stolen bases. Kobukata in first with 14, then Daisuke Nakashima and Yosuke Tatsumi with 7 each. And then we have a new signing. A new foreigner has been spotted. Oscar Gonzalez is joining the Eagles for the rest of this year and into the next one, a 2-year, $2 million contract. Oscar broke in with the Cleveland Guardians in 2022 and hit 11 home runs in his rookie season before getting waived and playing just 21 games for the Padres this year. He was also a member of the Dominican Republic's Premier 12 roster back in 2019. So, no stranger to international play, and here's looking to hoping that he can assimilate nicely and contribute to the Eagles.
Definitely good to see Oscar Gonzalez get picked up. The Padres actually intentionally waived him or designated him for assignment because it was rumored that he was going to be finding a job in Japan. For the Eagles, who do definitely need some better use of their foreign bat options, this is an excellent pickup. I mean, the pitching staff, you've got Howard, Yahure, Sung Chahao, Michael Franco, and now Oscar Gonzalez. That's looking a lot better than we've seen years prior from the Birdies.
And that brings us over to the last place team in the standings, the team that I'd say the Eagles and Hawks are at least kind of keeping up with, guys, and trying. But man, the Marines, the Chiba Marines have fallen way, way, way off the beaten path. So, Mike, what is going on with the Seabirds?
8.5 games behind the Fighters. They're 3-4 this week after picking up a win against the Buffaloes today. The Marines gave up 4 home runs in a single game for the first time in almost 2 years. And while things have been rough, a little shout out to 20-year-old Haruya Tanaka, who only allowed 2 hits and no walks to go with 5 strikeouts over 7 innings today. He has been a bright spot over the course of this year so far. I've enjoyed watching him pitch, and I do have hope for his development into the future. And yeah, that's kind of all I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, Uduse Tarachi's playing real well. I'm enjoying watching him play. Daito Yamamoto, I swear every time he even gets a pop up, the thing's sky to mile high. So hope that his power can develop real well. I think that's probably going to be the just a thing to take away from this season. Is there's a lot of young players that, even though the team's not living up to the potential, they are kind of, for lack of a better term, balling out, going real well. Just really fun to watch them play. And I saw today that Atsuki Tanaichi will be pitching for the first time since May 14th. So it looks like they skipped the start with him. I don't know if he was on the the IL or anything like that, or if they were just letting him take a break because he's kind of had a rough go of it today. And I saw that today under a news article where it said he was quoted as saying, "I'll do my best to help the team win." And I find the way that the Japanese interviews go, they say stuff like that, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I hope so. I do hope you do your. I hope you do your best.
That would be the bare minimum, wouldn't it?
It was last episode when it was announced that Tanaichi had to be deregistered due to left elbow soreness.
Oh, okay.
So that's what was the concern. Oh no, he's headed for Dr. Neil Reattach, isn't he? But no, he's clearly fine. Sometimes soreness is just soreness.
Yeah,
get a little owie.
Kyoto Fujiwara played really well today, and he's still a good developmental prospect. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. It could be much worse, though. I mean, you look at the box score, and they gave up 4 runs in the 9th, which meant if they blew a 6-run lead in the 9th, that would have been.
I'll put it this way: I became a Marines fan in the mid 2010s, and yeah, we didn't really do much. So it's kind of like a return to form, if anything.
No, I guess that's a way to look at it.
To quote our good friend from We Love Marines. When he first discovered the Marines, he was at a game. The Marines fans are going crazy, and he had never been to a Marines game before. He asked, someone in the Owen Don, hey, is this a good team? Is this the best team? And someone very loudly turned around and yelled at him, very happily said, "No, this is a bad team." And then went right back to cheering their heart out.
Hell yeah, man.
That is Japanese baseball in a nutshell. They may be bums, but there are bums.
And so that brings us over to our familiar faces in new places. Definitely no bums here, as Shohei Ohtani had a bit of a lull early in the week last week, but has really picked up in the last couple of days, hitting 3 home runs over his last 3 games, including a home run today, to bring his season total to 20, which leads all of the majors. Our other boys, Kodai Senga and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, are still sitting pretty, with the former still leading the National League with an ERA of 1.46, and the ace of aces right behind him at 1.97, while also having picked up a dazzling 16 strikeouts over 13 innings this week. Sheesh! They're doing good. The Pacific League boys are doing great. They've been a great ambassadors for the Pacific League over in the American League. Yeah, I guess I could. Well, the MLB. I don't want to just exclude the National League, especially because I think all 3 of them are in the National League. But yeah, it's been great to see them. Hopefully Roki Sasaki can get back to form. I saw he is looking to get back from injury soon. And yeah, let's keep it up, guys. And so that brings us to the end of today's show. And our question of the day from us to you and you to us is, what jersey do you covet the most? I mean, I'm sure, there have been a bunch of, I've seen old summer ones for every team that I want. Like, they're gorgeous. Like, I think 2 seasons ago, there was like a black and orange Hawks one that I really wanted, but it was like $200. So like,
Black and orange, buddy. The other league and the Kyojin are that away.
Oh, it is. They inverted the colors. There was more black, less orange. Other than that, though, you know what? I would love. Other than, I really want a bunch of nice summer jerseys, and there's a bunch of Japanese jerseys I want. I don't have a Yankees jersey yet, so I would like an Aaron Judge jersey. That would make me very happy. What about you?
I'm trying to think of a third. I've got 2 so far. One, the Eagles rainbow, like the Tequila Sunrise faux back uniforms from 2016, I think it was, or 2017, with Ginji on the back, because Ginji is my homeboy. Second, a Blue Wave home uniform. Maybe not Ichiro on the back, because I feel like that's too common. Maybe So Taguchi? That might be a fun one. And for the third one, Green Nankai Hawks Katsuya Nomura. Mike, over to you.
So to keep it, for Japanese jerseys that I want, there's a million. To keep it the Pacific League, the Nomura one, I would really like one of those. A legitimate, back in the day Otani one from when he was on the Fighters. I'd like one of those. Those are pretty expensive. The Blue Wave one. Honestly, I don't even care who I have in the back for the Blue Wave. I just think they look really cool.
Right? I mean, with the Kobe series coming up, maybe they can start flooding Mercari again.
Then I would like a Charlie Manuel jersey, from when he was with Kintetsu. Honestly, any of the Kintetsu jerseys I would take. There was in the mid 2010s, the Marines did a Orion's throwback jersey. Every time I find one, it's going for hundreds of dollars. I guess it was a one-off. I would like to get probably like a blank back one of those.
Ooh,
Like those, the white and red, and it says Lotte across. Like, those look so good, especially the blue powder blue ones that they had. Those are so nice.
Yeah, those all sound really nice. In retrospect, I regret not getting a Roki Sasaki jersey before he got posted, because I was hoping he wouldn't. I guess I thought I had another season on that. I didn't think that through. Oh well. Oh well. You live and learn. And so we move on. It's the end of today's show. Thank you as ever for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. Hope we have some new listeners, because I saw some of you asking about it on the live broadcast. And check us out next week on the podcast. Check out the top 10 plays and check out all the other beautiful stuff we have here on Pacific League TV. Take care.